Unless you're in the field of corporate governance, you probably get the impression that a corporate secretary for a public company is an administrative assistant of some sort. Nothing could be further from the truth. Today on Zippy Point.
Quick Zips by Zippy Point.
Quick and dirty.
I'm Brock Romanek, and I'm a big fan of yous. So as I mentioned in my Vid-Guide about 21 hats that corporate secretaries wear for a board, care, and feeding, the corporate secretary in a public company actually has a lot of jobs. There's a lot of multitasking involved, a lot of responsibility, a lot of stress. Many of those hats do relate to the care and feeding of the board of directors, as that Vid-Guide's title implies. By the way, a link to that Vid-Guide is beneath this video. And the board is an important group for the company. They oversee the senior management of the company as a whole. They have the power to hire and fire the CEO, to alter the strategy for the company. So the corporate secretary is in the curious position, the unique position of being subordinate to the CEO clearly, but yet the corporate secretary also reports in a way to the CEO's boss, the board of directors. In the United States, the general counsel, the top lawyer for a company, sometimes holds the title of corporate secretary too. But in most cases, it's in name only. The general counsel doesn't really play that role of corporate secretary at the company. It's just way too demanding of a job to both be the general counsel and the corporate secretary, unless the company is pretty small. In fact, at the larger companies, the general counsel just might not be up to snuff on what it takes to be a corporate secretary, what you need to know in order to perform that role. It's a fairly complex job, hence the 21 hats. So at these companies where the general counsel not only holds the corporate secretary title, it's someone with the title of assistant or associate corporate secretary who actually serves as a corporate secretary in reality. Now, it's true in the old days that the corporate secretary was more of an administrative type, still a tough job, but nowhere near the level of responsibility, the amount of substance that corporate secretaries need to perform today. That's way back when the board was a rubber stamp typically for the CEO, and corporate governance was a little known term. A whole lot has changed over the past 20 years, and most corporate secretaries actually have a legal background. They're lawyers, although that is not a requirement. So what is the requirement to be a corporate secretary? Well, there's no standardized set of responsibilities. This is not regulated how you become a corporate secretary, at least in the United States. There are no minimum standards. In fact, the role of the corporate secretary, the purview within a particular company really varies on that company's culture, the politics within the company, the turf wars. And even then, the corporate secretary's role will change within the company over time as the politics, the turf, and all that evolves. I should mention that the role of corporate secretary is similar, but perhaps not quite the same in other countries. For example, in the United Kingdom, most companies require their corporate secretaries to be chartered, meaning that they obtain a postgraduate level qualification from the Institute for Chartered Secretary, which regulates and advises the company's secretarial profession in that country. In fact, the ICSA operates in over 70 countries and has 36,000 members worldwide. But it's not really much of a player here in the United States. In the U.S., the Society of Corporate Governance is the association that typically involves corporate secretaries, but there's no widespread post-grad qualification like there is in the UK here in the U.S. The Society for Corporate Secretary recently implemented a certification program, but that's for really newbies to learn the basics in the field, and not too many people have participated so far. So as I noted in my 21 Hats Vid-Guide, I hang out with a lot of corporate secretaries, so I'm fully aware that those people that wear the corporate secretary's hat are among the most amazing people you can meet. It's rare that they get the recognition they deserve within their companies. That's because when they do their job right, everything runs smoothly. There's no bumps to notice. Anyways, let me know what you think.